Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another journey through Australia's shining treasures, coins that look ordinary, yet hide fortunes in plain sight. Each year carries a secret, a rare minting detail, a mysterious flaw, or a short production run that transforms pocket change into a collector's dream. From the silver gleam of the late 1970s to the refined strikes of the early 2000s, these coins tell stories of history, scarcity, and unexpected wealth. So tighten your grip on that 20-cent piece, because what you hold might just be worth far more than you ever imagined. And as we open this remarkable timeline of Australian currency, our story begins in 1968, a year that gave birth to one of the most talked about 20-cent coins in the nation's history. The 1968 20-cent coin wasn't just another piece of metal. It was a symbol of transition, pride, and modern identity for a young nation still shaping its post-decimal currency system. Australia had only switched to decimal currency 2 years earlier, in 1966, replacing the old pounds, shillings, and pence system that had lasted for generations. Minted primarily at the Royal Mint in London, the 1968 issue was meant to meet growing demand, while the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra expanded its capacity. These coins traveled halfway across the world before ever entering circulation in Australia. That alone gives them a unique historical significance. British-made coins for an independent Australian economy. The obverse of the coin features the youthful portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, sculpted by Arnold Machin, a design that would appear across Commonwealth coinage for decades. On the reverse, the graceful image of a platypus swimming beneath the water, designed by Stuart Devlin, represents Australia's distinct wildlife and culture in elegant form. But here, where the story gets intriguing. Among the millions of 1968 20-cent coins struck, a few stand apart, coins that show unusual minting characteristics, superior quality strikes, or rare die varieties. These tiny imperfections or production variations are what make collectors go wild today. Some examples show off-center strikes, others display weakly struck details, and a few rare specimens even have proof-like surfaces, highly reflective finishes that make them look almost mirror-polished. Such rare conditions are what transform a humble 20-cent piece into a valuable collector's prize. And because these 1968 coins were struck overseas, their metal composition and striking style differ subtly from the later Australian-made versions. That distinction gives them an added layer of rarity that serious numismatists immediately recognize. In top-grade condition, a 1968 Australian 20-cent coin can be worth hundreds of dollars, especially if it's been preserved without scratches, wear, or circulation marks. Coins graded at mint state levels, MS 65 and above, can command premium prices in auctions and private collections. One remarkable example of a near-perfect 1968 20-cent coin sold for an astonishing $1,000 at an Australian coin auction, proving that collectors are willing to pay handsomely for exceptional specimens. But the real treasure lies in the hunt itself. Imagine sorting through old change, inherited jars of coins, or family collections, and finding one of these gems hiding in plain sight. The thrill of discovering a valuable 1968 20-cent coin is what keeps coin hunters and collectors inspired every day. Each coin carries a story of the mint that created it, the hands that held it, and the decades it has survived. It's a small piece of Australian history that continues to gain attention and value as time moves on. Experts say that as high-grade examples disappear into private collections, the remaining few will only become more valuable. That's why serious collectors are constantly searching for pristine versions before prices climb even higher. If your 1968 20-cent coin has sharp edges, lustrous shine, and no signs of circulation, it could be a rare survivor worth far beyond its face value. Even a well-preserved circulated example can bring impressive returns compared to what it was originally worth. Remember, rarity, condition, and historical significance drive value. The 1968 issue has all three. It marks an era of transformation, carries a design beloved by millions, and now stands as a symbol of Australian coinage evolution. So next time you find an old 20-cent coin, take a closer look at the date. If it reads 1968, don't dismiss it. You might just be holding a small fortune in your hand. Collectors across the globe are now chasing these coins, pushing values higher every year. What was once pocket change has become a collector's dream, a treasure of metal and memory. And while most coins fade with time, the 1968 Australian 20 cent continues to shine brighter, proof that even the most ordinary coin can become extraordinary. So check your drawers, your old jars, and your coin albums, because your 1968 20-cent piece could be worth as much as $1,000, maybe even more in the right market. After all, in the world of rare coins, it's not just about metal. It's about history, mystery, and the thrill of discovering something truly valuable. A decade later, another chapter of intrigue unfolded. The 1978 Australian 20-cent coin emerged, carrying subtle differences and hidden value that would soon capture the attention of collectors across the nation. The year 1978 marked an important chapter in Australia's coinage history. The nation's decimal system was still in its early decades, and the Royal Australian Mint continued refining its precision, producing coins that carried not just value, but pride. Each piece minted that year symbolized the strength of a growing economy and a proud, independent identity. The 1978 20-cent coin features the elegant portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machin, a symbol of continuity and grace. On the reverse side, the striking image of the platypus, created by the legendary Stuart Devlin, captures the beauty and uniqueness of Australia's wildlife. It's a design that has stood the test of time, but the real fascination lies not in its art, but in its rarity. You see, not every coin that left the mint in 1978 was the same. Some were struck to perfection, some bore slight minting differences, and a few were so finely preserved that they became legendary. These are the coins collectors are desperately hunting for, the flawless survivors that escape the wear of circulation. Because the mintage numbers for 1978 were relatively moderate, and many coins were heavily used over time, finding a 1978 Australian 20-cent coin in uncirculated or proof condition today is a challenge. And where scarcity grows, value follows. Some specimens have surfaced with incredible quality, sharp edges, bright luster, and immaculate surfaces. These coins, when professionally graded and certified, have been known to fetch prices that shock even seasoned numismatists. Auction records and private sales have shown that pristine 1978 20-cent coins can bring in hundreds of dollars, while special proof examples or rare mint era versions can command prices soaring to $1,200 or even more depending on rarity and condition. What makes them so valuable isn't just the metal, it's the story, the survival, and the perfection. These coins represent a time capsule from the 1970s, a reflection of a nation's craftsmanship and pride. Collectors especially prize coins that still carry their original mint brilliance, those untouched by human hands or circulation. If your 1978 coin gleams as though it was struck yesterday, you could be holding something worth a fortune. Some coins from that year show fascinating minting quirks, slight off-centers, extra metal on the rim, or mirror-like surfaces that resemble proof issues. These rare errors are the true gold mines of the 1978 series, as each one tells a story of minting imperfection that makes it one of a kind. Imagine the thrill of discovering such a coin in your old change jar, tucked away for decades. That single coin, once worth just 20 cents, could now be worth hundreds or even over $1,000 if verified as an exceptional specimen. Collectors and dealers alike are now watching for 1978 20-cent coins graded at MS-65 and above, because these top-tier examples are becoming almost impossible to find in the wild. With every passing year, as more of them disappear into private collections, their value only continues to climb. This coin's charm also lies in its dual identity, common enough to be recognized, but rare enough to be priceless in perfect form. It's this balance of accessibility and exclusivity that makes it one of Australia's most fascinating collectible coins. If you're lucky enough to own a 1978 20-cent coin that's uncirculated, untouched, or showing proof-like brilliance, take it seriously. Have it appraised, graded, and documented, because it could be one of those few pieces worth as much as $1,200 or even more in the right collector's market. This isn't just about money, it's about discovery. The discovery that something so ordinary could be hiding such extraordinary worth. It's a story that continues to inspire treasure hunters and coin collectors across Australia and beyond. So check your drawers, your old wallets, and those forgotten boxes of change, because that small silver coin marked 1978 could very well be the rare gem that changes your collection forever. Each time someone finds one of these coins in excellent condition, it becomes part of a growing legend, proof that history hides in plain sight. The 1978 Australian 20-cent coin is more than currency. It's a piece of Australia's heritage, reborn as a collector's treasure. And as time moves on, the number of perfect examples will only shrink, meaning their value will continue to rise. The question isn't whether they're valuable, it's whether you're lucky enough to find one. Because somewhere, in a jar of old change or a forgotten drawer, your 1978 Australian 20-cent coin might be waiting, and it could be worth over $1,200 to the right buyer. As time moved toward the edge of a new millennium, a fresh design and renewed precision in minting marked the 1999 Australian 20-cent coin, a piece that would soon earn its place among the most desirable coins of the modern era. The year 1999 was a significant one for Australia's currency history. The nation was preparing for the new millennium, and the Royal Australian Mint was at full strength, producing coins that carried both beauty and precision. The 20-cent coin of that year stood out, not because of any change in design, but because of what would soon happen within its production. At first glance, the 1999 20-cent coin looks identical to other years, bearing the regal portrait of Queen Elizabeth II by sculptor Ian Rank Broadley, a new effigy introduced just the year before. On the reverse, the stunning platypus design by Stuart Devlin swims gracefully beneath the rippled water, symbolizing Australia's natural charm. But behind that calm surface hides one of the most famous and fascinating minting stories in Australian numismatics: the creation of the 1999 Mule 20-cent coin, a coin that should never have existed, yet slipped into circulation and became one of the most valuable modern coins ever found. During 1999, an extraordinary minting error occurred when a 20-cent coin was accidentally struck using the obverse, head side, die of a $1 coin instead of the correct 20-cent die. This mistake created a rare hybrid coin, a true mule, that displayed Queen Elizabeth II's smaller $1 portrait on one side and the platypus 20-cent design on the other. This error was so subtle that most people didn't notice it at first, but collectors who did were stunned. The mismatched dies meant the Queen's portrait sat closer to the rim, and the edge was thicker and raised differently than usual. What looked like a normal coin was actually a hidden fortune waiting to be discovered. Very few of these 1999 Mule 20-cent coins made it into public hands. Estimates suggest only a few thousand exist, making them one of the rarest circulation issues in Australian history. Because of this rarity, the 1999 Mule 20-cent coin has reached astonishing prices in the collector market. Verified examples have sold for over $3,000, with some pristine, uncirculated pieces fetching up to $5,000 or more at auction. Yes, you heard that right. A single 20-cent coin from 1999 could be worth thousands of dollars today. That's why collectors across Australia and even overseas continue to search for it with relentless excitement. The coin story is one of pure chance, a minting accident that transformed ordinary currency into a treasure. It shows how a small human oversight can create something priceless, something that captures both history and imagination. Imagine finding one in your change, a coin that looks completely normal, yet carries the wrong head, the wrong die, and a hidden story of minting mystery. That's the thrill every coin hunter dreams of. If you look closely at your 1999 20-cent coins, check the spacing and position of the Queen's portrait. On the mule version, her head appears closer to the rim, and the border feels slightly thicker. That subtle difference is the key to unlocking a fortune. Even standard 1999 20-cent coins in top-grade, uncirculated condition are now sought after by collectors, but it's the mule version that truly takes the crown. Each verified piece adds to the legend and keeps the excitement alive in the world of Australian coin collecting. With every year that passes, fewer mule coins remain in circulation as collectors lock them away. Their value continues to climb, and the demand shows no sign of slowing down. So, if you've ever dismissed your loose change as ordinary, it might be time to look again. That small silver coin marked 1999 could be your hidden jackpot, a once-in-a-lifetime find worth up to $5,000. The 1999 Australian 20-cent coin proves that sometimes the smallest mistakes can create the greatest treasures. It's a story of luck, rarity, and the incredible thrill of discovery. So go ahead, check your wallets, your coin jars, and your old drawers, because that forgotten 20-cent coin might just be the most valuable thing you've ever owned. And remember, the difference between ordinary and extraordinary could be just one lucky date, 1999. And just a few years later came the 2004 Australian 20-cent coin, a modern masterpiece that closed this remarkable journey with elegance, rarity, and value that continues to astonish collectors even today. The 2004 20-cent piece came from a time when Australia was refining its coin production to perfection. By then, the Royal Australian Mint had decades of experience striking the nation's decimal coinage, and every year carried both precision and pride. The obverse side features the regal portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Ian Rank Broadley, whose strong and modern depiction of the monarch symbolized a confident and evolving Australia. On the reverse, the elegant and timeless image of the platypus, designed by Stuart Devlin, glides gracefully through the water, a symbol of the country's rare and distinctive wildlife. But among these millions of 2004 20-cent coins, a few hold extraordinary secrets, subtle differences, rare minting variations, and exceptional preservation that elevate them far above ordinary currency. These are the coins that collectors dream of finding. In 2004, the Royal Australian Mint produced both circulation and limited collector issues. Most coins entered everyday use, but a small number were struck with remarkable precision, proof-quality coins and error strikes that are today worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars. The most fascinating examples are the mule errors and off-metal strikes, where a coin was mistakenly struck using mismatched dies or incorrect blanks. Such rare mishaps create coins that defy expectation, and when discovered, they immediately attract high bids from collectors across the world. Even perfectly struck 2004 20-cent coins in mint state condition are now commanding serious attention. Coins graded at MS-65 or higher can easily reach hundreds of dollars in today's collector market, especially when verified and sealed by professional grading companies. Proof versions, made for collectors and never intended for circulation, can fetch even more, up to $1,000 or more if kept in pristine, untouched condition. Their flawless surfaces, deep mirrored fields, and razor-sharp details make them dazzling examples of minting excellence. Some rare 2004 issues also exhibit unique die varieties, tiny differences in lettering, spacing, or rim thickness that set them apart from standard strikes. These minute details often go unnoticed by casual observers but are immediately spotted by trained collectors, who will pay impressive sums for verified variants. The combination of rarity, condition, and history is what makes the 2004 Australian 20-cent coin so valuable today. It's not just a coin, it's a story of craftsmanship, of chance, and of discovery waiting to be made. Imagine finding one of these perfect coins in your old wallet, a coin jar, or a forgotten collection passed down through generations. What once bought a snack in 2004 could now buy you a piece of Australia's numismatic prestige. As years go by, coins like these only grow scarcer. Collectors tuck them away, investors recognize their rising worth, and the remaining few in circulation become treasures hiding among everyday change. It's that sense of mystery and possibility that makes this coin so thrilling. The idea that a simple 20-cent piece could carry the potential to be worth up to $1,000 or more is what drives thousands of collectors to search tirelessly through their old coins. The beauty of coin collecting lies in discovery, in realizing that history, rarity, and value can all exist within something as small as a coin you once ignored. And the 2004 Australian 20-cent coin captures that spirit perfectly. So if you have one, hold it up to the light. Look for its shine, its clarity, its condition. A coin with crisp detail, no wear, and original mint brilliance could be far more valuable than you ever imagined. Some collectors have already sold their high-grade 2004 20-cent coins at auctions for hundreds, while rare proof or mule varieties have reached incredible prices. The market continues to climb as more people learn just how special this year's issue truly is. So don't underestimate that small silver coin. Check your drawers, your change jars, and your collections, because your 2004 Australian 20-cent coin could be the hidden gem that changes everything. It's a story of chance, rarity, and reward, proof that even the simplest piece of metal can hold immense value for those who know what to look for. And who knows, the next valuable coin discovery might not come from a museum or an expert collector. It might come from you. Because sometimes, treasure doesn't come from digging deep. It comes from simply looking closely at what you already have.